All right, folks, welcome to Give Me Five. Let's talk a little bit about media coverage of the recent terror attacks we've seen in Canada and in Jerusalem. What, a terrorist attack in Jerusalem? Yeah. A Palestinian terrorist, Hamas-inspired or related, ran his car into a crowd, killing a 3-month-old girl who was an American citizen. Yeah, oh, we didn't hear about that one, right? As a matter of fact, let's put up how the AP headline covered that story. The headline, Israeli police shoot man in East Jerusalem. They shot him after he plowed his car into the crowd of people and got out and tried to run away. But the headline, Israeli police shoot a man in East Jerusalem. Then, here's the first paragraph. Dateline, occupied Jerusalem. Israeli police say they've shot a man whose car slammed into a crowded train stop in East Jerusalem in what they suspect was an intentional attack. Oh yeah, by the way, they think it was an intentional attack. Israeli police shoot a man. Poor Palestinian man that they shot, those evil Israeli police. What kind of headline is that? Oh, but that's not unique. Let's move on and let's get you some of the New York, or should I say, U.S. media coverage of terror.
I'm saddened to see that many media commentators and politicians are using the Islamic point here by just saying he converted to Islam, he reverted to Islam, that there's an Islamic component in it. And I believe this shows either ignorance and lack of information, lack of knowledge about Islam itself. Had the religion of this individual been not Islam, it would not have an issue. It would not have been an issue.
Of course not. Of course not. So the Canadian shooter, who was a jihadist, and who had, you know, all these contacts with jihadists throughout Canada. Oh, how could this be related to Islam? Oh, if he were an Islamic, his ethnicity or his religion wouldn't be an issue. Duh. And Alex Wagner agrees. Watch.
There are a few folks who, in the aftermath of this, have said, well, wait a second. There is a difference between someone who is a terrorist and someone who is a deranged, unhappy person with a gun. And yet it has been surprising, I think, to see even Josh Earnest at the White House say this would consider it a terrorist act. And I guess from sort of a constitutional civil liberties, you know, a rights perspective, how distressing is that?
What the heck is she talking about? What? The Canadian Prime Minister said it's a terrorist attack. She just said Josh Earnest, the White House spokesman, said it's a terrorist attack. And she's like, from a constitutional civil rights perspective, how concerning is that? What are you talking about? You see, the new narrative is these are all deranged people with a gun. So what if they were jihadists? They got alcoholism in their background and this in their background. They cheated on their math test when they were a kid in their background. So it has nothing to do with terror? No. They're just madmen with guns or axes. Does it not make you sick? More.
Right. I mean, it shows how far we are from any coherent, notion of what the word terrorism means.
Right.
It's really just a watchword for we should intervene overseas and a whole bunch of other things connected with that.
Well, and the inextricable link between what some folks see as, one religion, and if that religion is associated in a violent act, it then becomes an act of terror.
Sure. Terrorism, Islam, overseas intervention,
right.
Military response, right? Whereas this seems much more like ordinary crime. Someone with a troubled past, a history of run-ins with the law and drug problems and so forth.
And his mommy didn't like him when he was a baby. I mean, are you kidding me? What else could I say but present it to you and let you judge for yourself? Now, Andrea Mitchell, you recall after 9/11 how America was hunting down Muslims in the streets and killing them and attacking them and setting fire to mosques? Neither do I. But apparently Andrea Mitchell knows something I don't. Watch.
And I listened to the opening of Parliament today and your opposition leader stressing the inclusiveness. Canada has this open expression and this desire for inclusiveness. It's not at all homogenous. It's a very heterogeneous society. But do you worry that there's going to be a reaction, as frankly we had after 9/11? We had to really have bipartisan efforts by the president, George W. Bush at the time.
Yeah, because we were hunting down Muslims in the streets. She ought to be ashamed of herself, but she's not.